Maguti and Nini Morale. And so this is really good because this is expanding the types of science that we can do with ASAS. If you want to break down by institution, Ohio State is really the home base. It's where the scheduling is done, it's where the pipeline is run, it's where all the data is stored. And the other major component of ASAS-SN is LCOGT, the Loss Accumulation Observatory Global Telescope Network. And they provide us our site support and our So LCOGT is a global network of 0.4, 2 meter class telescopes distributed around the world. The two sites which are important for ASAS-SN are Haleakala, Hawaii, and Saratoga, Chile. In Haleakala, Hawaii, we share the dome of the Pulse Telescope North 2 meter, which is a roboticized 2 meter, shown here on the right. It's an exponential dome, so when it opens to the sky, we can also get access. You can see it's in the background here. This is the original, our predecessor, the ASAS survey, which is the Variable Star Survey. And this is one of our units. So we have 4 telephoto lenses, 14 centimeter telephoto lenses, mounted on a common mount. They're backed by 2K by 2K thermally electrically cooled CCDs. Each camera and lens has a field of view of 4.5 degrees on the side. But the cost of this large field of view is a very large pixel scale, about 8 arcseconds per pixel. And this is actually what sets our illuminating magnitude. So our illuminating magnitude is about 17. It actually depends on illumination because we're sky background limited at these magnitudes. We run V-band filters, and we survey about 10,000 square degrees per night with just one unit. And this is just an example of Brutus data. This is M33, as shown here. And the important thing to know about ASAS-SN data is that we have 4.5 degrees in the sky. We're actually about a 0.5 degree overlap between fields and between pointing. So if there's another pointing right here, it'll also have a 0.5 degree overlap. So this means that the typical cadences that I'll quote throughout this talk are for every part of the sky, but about half the sky actually has twice that cadence. And just for scale, here's the full moon. And this is the entire field of view of LSST. So you can see that it's quite a large field of view for the cameras. Our southern unit, going also back to Saratoga, as Mark was talking about, we're on Saratoga. We share one of the LCOGT Ogwan structures, which is built to house 2.4 meters. You see the 0.4 meter in the foreground. You go into the structure. This is our southern unit. It's now the same as our northern unit. We just went from 2 to 4 cameras in the middle of about a year ago now. Can also survey 10,000 square degrees per night. And with these 2 units, we can cover the entire sky, including the galactic plane, every 2 days. So this gives you a sense of our cadence and sky coverage. This is just one of our status plots that I pulled off one of our websites last night. The black are the fields that were observed last night, and the color coding beneath it are the time since those other fields have been observed. So you can see that we basically do half the sky and flip to the other half. This is what a year of ASAS-SN data looks like, by total number of images taken at each location. We were doing the galactic plane at a lower cadence, but now everything is a uniform cadence. And we just started the southern galactic plane a couple months ago, so we're still, we just now actually have completed building almost all the reference images. It's now, we subtract the galactic plane in the southern hemisphere as well. Just to give you a sense of ASAS-SN data, here's a typical reference image, not a typical one, it's the LMC, a new image, and then our subtractions are extremely clean. This is what allows us to do photometry and discoveries in very crowded regions that we can subtract in even extremely crowded region like the LMC. Our detection pipeline is similar to other translate surveys. We use image detection to find new sources, and then we cull through all of these triggers through a variety of methods, including a random forest classifier. Candidates are, there's 2 ways that candidates are scanned. There's one where a person actually looks and sees this image and flips through and finds new sources. And on the upper left-hand corner, you can see our reference image. These are stacked images marching through in time. And in the top row, this was the data from the previous night. We can see our COAD and our 2 dithered images of this location. So you can see that the 16th magnitude asteroid is already being covered. There's another way that we are just starting to turn on now, which is bypassing the human scanner. We're making fully automated alerts, and we're starting to trigger other robotic follow-up telescopes as well directly from the detection pipeline. And using these methods, we're able to typically announce transients within hours of the data being taken. But ASAS-SN just tells you that something changed in the sky. You really have to go to follow-up resources, and this is really where ASAS-SN shines, and finding bright transients is really important. Because 100% of our suspected supernovae get spectroscopic classification, which just isn't possible for fainter samples. And so we use a large number of telescopes, like the LCO GT 1 meters to follow up photometrically, and we use telescopes like Magellan and DuPont on Las Planas, LBT in the Northern Hemisphere, and a large number of other telescopes as well to follow up ASAS-SN sources. And then this strategy of using a small telescope to find a source, follow it up, has been very fruitful. We have almost 25 publications now on ASAS-SN objects. We have over 350 supernovae. This is actually, this number's too low because 2 were announced during lunch. Sorry. So we have over 350 supernovae. This is their distribution on the sky. You can see that they're pretty uniform across the sky. Of course, we don't find very many supernovae in the galactic plane, although that would be very exciting. And this is, if you wanted to break down who discovered these nearby supernovae. These are the bright supernovae in the last half of 2014, so after our southern unit went online. And you see that ASAS-SN is doing quite well. And then if you look at 2015, you can see we're doing even better. So currently, ASAS-SN discovers about 2/3 of all the supernovae discovered that occurred in 1792 on the sky. But then it's a fair question to ask, is ASAS-SN just finding these supernovae slightly earlier than other groups that would have been discovering the same supernovae anyway? Or are we finding supernovae which would have been completely missed? So that's what this plot is to hopefully give you an idea. Basically binned by the number of supernovae in 2-month blocks from June of 2013. This is when our transient pipeline went live for the first time. And it's color-coded by blue are those supernovae discovered by other groups, red are those discovered by ASAS-SN, and then green are ones which were discovered by other groups but then later recovered with our pipeline. This gray region shows you the 1 sigma deviation for the number of supernovae in 2 months discovered before ASAS-SN. So what you can see is that as you go along, for the first year of ASAS-SN, we didn't make a significant contribution to the completeness of the nearby supernovae, but for the past 2 years, almost 2 years, we're doing quite well. They were significantly above this 1 sigma deviation. And you can still see that we have some more work to do as well, though. We've covered most supernovae, but there are some supernovae which we're not recovering. So there's more progress to be made. And if you want to see more about the distribution of our supernovae and tertiary R1As, please see Supernovae talk on Friday. But finding supernovae early is also very interesting. So with our high cadence, for the nearest and the brightest supernovae, we can actually discover them extremely early, which was important for ASAS-SN 14 LP, which I showed here. And we discovered this about 2 days after explosion, but we actually had a data point the night before, but it was cloudy, so we didn't actually trigger on the cloudy data point. But you can go back and actually get photometry for that point. This allows you to strain Juniper models. So these are some theoretical models done by Dan Payson of the ejecta interacting with a companion. You expect to see photometric signatures of this interaction. And you can look in the ASAS-SN data and actually look to see if you see any excess flux. We see basically no excess flux. And that allows us to rule out red giant companions and main sequence companions, and depending on the exact explosion time. And for more on this, please see Tony Kuro's talk. About 12 hours after explosion. PTF or ZTF we discovered about 2 hours after explosion, and LSST could basically discover minutes after explosion. But the problem here, the obvious problem, is that none of these surveys, not even ASAS-SN, has anywhere near this cadence. So right now, if you want to find the nearest and brightest supernovae as early as possible, you can't go to something like PTF because you'd be lucky to catch it. You need to go to something more distributed like ASAS-SN, and have a very high cadence. So you have to expand a smaller survey and get a higher cadence over the entire survey. We've also had some pretty unique events as well. ASAS-SN is the most luminous supernova ever discovered. I'll show you the discovery image here. When you compare it to other superluminous supernovae, you see it's about a factor of 2 brighter than the next brightest supernova. And that's all I'm going to say about this. I'm sure it'll probably be discussed at least to some extent in this conference. But see Jose Prieto spoke on Friday. In addition to finding a number of supernovae, this all-sky approach leaves us with a sample of many other objects, both galactic and extragalactic. We found thousands of new CVs now. We found a galactic novae just a couple days ago. And these are getting, some of these objects are quite exciting and get tens of thousands of observations of fallout data. Additionally, we find outbursts from young stellar objects. I'll show you one example here of the ASAS-SN QI. In this outburst, it rose, this young star rose 3 magnitudes less than a day and fell actually quite quick. And this photometric and spectroscopic evolution actually don't fit in any of the classifications that we have so far for young stellar outbursts. So this is quite a unique object. So when you survey the entire sky and you're open to finding these objects, you can find quite exciting things. Finally, something that I've been interested in a little bit lately is large flares from stellar objects. Not the young ones, but lower mass objects. We found 50 flares with a change in magnitude of over 4. And we found 2 indoor flares with a change in magnitude of over 9. And we even found one of only 2 known Eldor flares, and this was a 10 magnitude flare in Eldor, which is shown here on the right. And here you can see that we had, because of this overlap region, we had an observation just a couple hours before. We saw this huge flare. Our 3 vivid images can actually see it fall almost a magnitude just between our images. And then you can constrain the flare energy, and you find that this star put out about, all the energy typically puts out in 3 to 4 months, it put it out in a couple hours. This has obvious implications for our future finding missions around indoors, and where ASAS can really contribute here is basically just going into different flare distributions. So this is a typically known, well-cited flare distribution in M-dwarfs, and the 2 places that ASAS can contribute, both go into later M-dwarfs, because we find the brightest flares, you can actually get a spectrum of the starry quiescence. And you also are pushing to larger flares. We have 50 flares that are off this entire plot. And finally, kind of going in the opposite direction of Mark, we actually find AGN and blazar flares as well. We found a huge number of different flares, including one exciting one, probably the most exciting one we found, was from MGC 2617, where we saw this large flare. We see fallout all the way from X-rays to the near IR. And you can see this flare continued and was even stronger in the X-rays. But most excitingly, when you compare its spectroscopic properties after the flare, it actually changed the spectral Seyfert type. It changed from a type 1 Seyfert, actually a type 1.8 Seyfert, to a type 1 Seyfert with these obvious broad Balmer lines and the blue continuum. And finally, with our subtraction pipeline and being able to do very well in the centers of galaxies, we also find rare events such as tidal disruption events. And so with ASAS-SN, we've been able to find the 3 closest and brightest examples of tidal disruption events, and now these are becoming the 3 best studied ones because they are so bright. And finally, I'll just end with looking forward. The first thing is that I don't really view ASAS-SN as complete in its current form. With just 2 units at 2 different sites, I really think of ASAS-SN more distributed network. I'd like to go to at least 4 different sites with 4 cameras each. This will allow us to do the entire sky every night. But even more importantly, being distributed in longitude will allow you to wash out the effects of weather. So here I showed you, this was a typical sky coverage in cadence. But periodically when the weather's bad, which it has been bad in Chile, this looks more typical, where you basically are just getting almost no data from 2 sites. And so looking forward, when we have LSST, you really don't want to miss the next brightest supernova just because it's cloudy for one night, or you have a delay. And so you really need to go to multiple sites. That's the only way to get around this problem. Finally, there's also a variable star effort in ASAS-SN. We have many epochs over the entire sky, and this is an effort that's being led by Andreas Jordan, right here in the University of Católica in Chile. And finally, it's a core goal of ASAS-SN to make all of our data public in a useful way. This isn't funded, so it's a slower effort than I would like it to be, but it's really kind of a goal that we're striving for, and we're going closer and closer for it. So I want to leave you not with just a summary of ASAS-SN, but the kind of the question of what will you do with ASAS-SN, both our transients and our data in the future. And with that, I'll take your questions.
Could you find numerous optical afterglows with your system?
So the time scale is usually much shorter. We could slew fast enough, but we don't cover a large fraction of the sky all the time. So we cover it every 2 days, but we're not covering instantaneously.
But afterglows can be long, in 7 days.
So if you're in the decay of the afterglow, then we could, but typically, statistically, they'd be too faint for us.
Any more questions?
Yeah, so it's not entirely true that you have to go to some distributed bin to get early detections. PDF has done like 10 observations per night for certain campaigns and very regularly do multiple observations per night. And then you also have to go way down the light curve if you're doing that. So ASAS-SN could only find those super right after exposure ones for things that are like really close. It's like 5 magnitudes down from the peak. If you're maybe magnitude 17, then that won't really work.
Yeah, so this is true. So if you want to find early time light curves, one approach is that you could go very deep or deeper and then find them distantly. This is for the closest and the brightest ones. So if you want a holy grail, sort of like 11 at B, where you have an early time light curve and you have all the other observations, which can only be done for the brightest objects, then if you want all these in one object, you really have to make sure you find the nearest one as early as possible. And they only happen basically once every year or two.
I was also wondering, is there a policy to not announce things on the centers of galaxies in real time? Because it seems like there's been a few of those where the data has only come out much later.
There is none, so sometimes we do have some artifacts there, so we'd only announce this one for sure. So if it's in our data, we'll get more follow-up data, which sometimes can be a couple days delay, but there's no more than that. A lot of our TDEs, I think more of what you're thinking of,
Any of these last constants that we dropped in our paper was
That's a great question. We have not found any of these fast transients, but we only recently expanded not that long ago. We have some ideas to basically increase our cadence for a set number of fields near the equator, where you can use both sites of those fields to find faster timescale transients. But to this point, we haven't really gone that approach yet.
How many person taking the data by night?
You mean how many human scanners?
Yeah.
So it's mostly Kristen, and then I guess the next one would be Supernovae, and then there's a few other of us who also scan. But those are the major 2 scans. I think Jose also scans. But you don't scan. So yeah, so it's really Kristen and Subo. And we also have this fully automated way which sends out, and also sends out an email to everybody for very high probability targets. And those get looked at by more eyes, so they have a faster turnaround.
any more questions? So the next thing here.